with us, Shane.
Thanks for having me.
On the border, I have seen a number of Democrats lately who have expressed what seems to be incredulity over the fact that their message is not resonating with the American people. But their message certainly seems to be protect people like Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and for the rest of the Americans who are dealing with the fallout from the Biden border crisis, forget them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's incredibly out of touch. And for Democrats wondering why they're struggling so much, why their party has a 29% approval rating, they need to look no further than their stance on illegal immigration, than their stance on President Trump's mission to protect the border. They're going down there, they're having margaritas with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who is a suspected MS-13 gang member, and then they come back home and they wonder why their own voters can't stand them. And, nothing quite encapsulates Democrats' struggles with voters, like their stance on illegal immigration, like how they're pulling out all the stops to protect people who aren't even American citizens, who aren't their constituents. And it's from an American citizen's perspective, it's frankly disgusting to see.
Yeah. I had one of those moments this morning where that song from the 70s came back, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off, because I saw President Trump, announce his policy yesterday. All right, $1,000, get out of the country, self-deport. You won't be penalized if you come in illegally next time. And the Democrats came out and said, we got a better idea. And I thought, oh, well, maybe they got their lesson. And instead they're like, no, instead of giving them $1,000 and deporting them, let's give them a work permit and keep them here. And I'm like, they simply don't understand the resentment that Americans have for people who illegally entered this country and ruined this country. Why the disconnect? Is it because they're just so beholden to money, or are they tone deaf? They're not reading the polls?
Well, they're not reading the polls, and part of it, I think, is Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
So we're seeing this all-out warfare from the left to stop the deportation of illegal aliens. Well, maybe somebody ought to inform the Democrats who are so upset about this that Bill Clinton deported 12 million illegal aliens. You know how many of them did not have trials? The left's demanding due process for every illegal alien. 12 million illegal aliens deported under the Clinton administration, more than 90% no trial. Under President Obama, remember, the left nicknamed President Obama the deporter in chief. They were very upset with him for deporting what were ultimately modest numbers of illegal aliens. But during the Obama administration, 83% a judge was not involved in their deportation. And so what we're seeing now, really, this is the culmination of the left's long-term plan, right? They brought in 10 million illegal aliens under Joe Biden, and now they're saying, oh, well, we have to give a court trial to all of them, to deport any of them. This was their plan all along. They know that it's completely unrealistic to do a trial for every illegal alien in this country. And so they're hoping to just ride out the Trump administration, get a Democrat back in office, and they'll basically just hold the line from Biden to whoever they hope the next Democrat is. And really, it's undermining the mandate that the American people delivered to President Trump last November. And that's why it's so dangerous.
Yeah. I saw a headline yesterday regarding Cinco de Mayo, a legacy news organization, fear-mongering about how a lot of Cinco de Mayo celebrations were canceled because people were concerned about ICE raids and deportations and such. And it does seem like the media is really trying to push this narrative that what President Trump and Tom Homan are doing is unpopular. However, you look at the raw numbers as far as especially Hispanic men and black men, and his support with them has not waned. How do you explain it?
Yeah, so, minorities, Hispanics who came here legally, Black Americans, Asian Americans, really all Americans. But those groups, they want to see the law enforced. They understand how mass, unchecked illegal immigration hurts our economy, hurts our housing market. And so, they're very supportive of what President Trump is doing. It's funny you mentioned the media freaking out about deportations and all this talk about due process. Well, where was due process for people like January 6 defendants who were American citizens, were left in prison to rot, were denied bail for nonviolent crimes? Where was due process for people like Mark Hawk, who Joe Biden's FBI conducted a dawn raid on his home, terrified his wife and children? Where was due process for President Trump when Biden's FBI raided Mar-a-Lago? What we're really seeing, it's almost not even a double standard. It's just one standard of justice. And that standard is, if you're an illegal alien, we're going to allow you to abuse the legal system to stay here as long as possible. But if you're somebody who we disagree with politically and you're an American citizen, you don't get due process. You just get the full brunt of the left-wing lawfare machine.
Yeah, really, really important. Real quickly, this just happened a few seconds ago. China and the U.S. will meet for trade talks. Markets are going to go wild tomorrow. All the naysayers and gloom doomers in the media have gotten this wrong again. These tariffs keep returning good things for American public. Do you think the media is getting tired of getting shown up?
Well, if the last 10 years have showed us anything, it's that the media is never tired of being shown up by President Trump. And really, the sad thing for the corporate media is that this whole thing was entirely predictable. This is what President Trump has done his entire career, whether it's in business or politics. He makes big promises, he comes out hard, and then he comes to the negotiating table and forges a better deal for the American people.
It's almost like he wrote a book on deal making or something.
That's right.
Oh, hey, yes, he did.
Shane Harris, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And everybody remember that for just $16 a year,